This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Welcome to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon versus Legend. Join us as we take a deep dive into the lore of the Star Wars universe.
Hello, and welcome to the Holocron Histories podcast, where we talk about Star Wars canon versus legends. I am one of your hosts, Austin, also known as Teacup, and I'm here with my co-host,
Ben of Temeria.
Yeah, and we're back continuing, and today we are talking about everyone's lightsaber resistant metal.
Oh yeah, so coming up with show notes, I was stuck on a while what we were going to talk about, because we did Avar Kriss, and I was like, okay, I kind of want to do something in the realm of getting it still being the High Republic stuff. I was like, oh, well, they just brought back an old lightsaber resistance-ish metal into the Acolyte. Well, let's start talking about the first. So we are here talking about everyone's favorite Beskar. Now, I will say a lot of this, a majority of all this info is from Legends, because in the canonical history of Star Wars right now with the Disney stuff and what they, put to the side and brought Beskar back, Beskar still doesn't have a whole lot of history in the canonical sense. We know people who have used it. We know, from the Mandalorian specifically, all that info from that. But that's about it. So here we're talking about the legend stuff, because that's a lot of the history and the lore of Beskar so far. So, yeah. So, getting into Beskar, it is also known as Mandalorian Iron, which is also known, so Mandalorians have their own language called Mandowa. So the Mandowa name is Beskar, which was an extremely durable iron ore whose only known source was the Outer Rim world of Mandalore and its moon, Concordia. The Mandalorian warrior culture that inhabits Mandalore mine their planet for the Beskar, using it to the creation of weapons, armor, and starships, occasionally even selling the rare and valuable metal on the galactic market. You can see where things could be good for that or bad. So the introduction of these certain adhesives additives during the smelting process served to increase the strength of the natural ore. The Mandalorian metalsmiths guarded the secret of forging Beskar from outsiders, passing along the techniques from one generation of metallurgists to the next, strictly within the Mandalorian community. The versatile metal, Mandalorian iron, could be melted into multiple alloys and forged into various configurations, which we see, at least, we see this specifically in the Mandalorian show, where we obviously see it melted into armor, and we also seen it melted into a weapon. We have yet to see it as a starship, though, which would be awesome, because that would be a very major undertaking, but it's also a very big military asset to have a starship that can resist blaster bolts. And if it's on the size of a starship, it could resist from turrets.
Isn't that what like Palpatine tried to do with like the Zillo Beast
Yeah.
when he wanted to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he wanted to try to make it as blaster and lightsaber resistance as possible. So, a Mandalorian iron was rare throughout the galaxy, as only seen known source of the ore was the planet Mandalore and its orbiting moon, Concordia, both located in the heart of Mandalorian space and the Outer Rim. Some speculated that Beskar could be found in other worlds of the Mandalore system as well. The Mandalorians referred to the iron by the name Beskar. And despite the world's origins of the Mandoa language, it became common even for non-Mandalorians to refer the element as such. I mean, saying Beskar is easier than saying Mandalorian iron, so.
Correct, yeah.
Mined from beneath the surface of the Mandalorian Concordia, Mandalorian iron was one of the toughest metals known into science. Cherished for its incredible strength and durability, Beskar was notable for being able to withstand blows from even a lightsaber, and was commonly thought the nearly indestructible, making Beskar more prized than Durasteel or Cortosis. And just saying, Cortosis is the new metal, well, quote-unquote new metal, they brought back into the canon of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So the natural strength of Beskar was amplified during the forging process using techniques developed and closely guarded by Mandalorian metalsmiths, many of whom sooner die than reveal their secrets to outsiders. In the foundry, carbons were often added to the ore to create a molecular cage structure that allowed Mandalorian iron to be lighter than contemporary metals, while still retaining its incredible toughness. Without the addition of the carbon, Beskar was significantly heavier. Repeated folding the Mandalorian iron during forging further enhanced its strength. As it is with most metals, folding the metal increases the durability and the strength of a metal. So that's how metalworking works.
Right.
So, Mandalorian metalsmiths combine Beskar ore with several other metals to create multiple alloys capable of being shaped into various configurations, and were also responsible for affecting the final color of the finished Beskar during the smelting process. When two pieces of Beskar were stuck together, the resulting sound was heavy and dull, more solid in resonance than the high, tiny frequency produced from striking Durasteel. So, moving on to the usage of Beskar, which we can all kind of figure where we're going with this. A versatile metal capable of being combined into several alloys and molded into a number of forms, Beskar became a common material in Mandalorian craftsmanship. Depending upon the composition of the alloy, Mandalorian iron could be rendered into solid plates, a laminate, wire, mesh, or micronized particles, even a foam or a transparent film. So you can do a lot. Not just, armor. You can do a lot with Beskar.
Mm-hmm.
Though materials such as Durasteel and alum were commonly used in creation of Mandalorian armor, Mandalorian iron was considered the most desirable choice for a soldier's armor. Armor forged of Beskar could withstand blunt force strikes from a lightsaber, and repeated blaster fire, even through the force of an impact, still transferred in part to the wearer. Mandalorian iron was also as a common resource in production of weapons. Traditional Mandalorian sabers, known as Beskads, were forged in Mandalorian iron, with the metal folded and struck repeatedly during the process to create the sturdy blades. Mandalorian Kai knives were also cast in Beskar iron. Micronized Beskar was used in the creation of powerful crush gaunts, capable of breaking bone with ease, and bladed Beskbeev flutes were crafted from Mandalorian iron as well. And crush gaunts are literally just gauntlets made of, with Beskar, to where it's so strong that, you can break things with ease. In the Bestev flute, here, let me pull this up a little bit. Just a traditional Mandalorian flute. It's a musical instrument and a melee weapon. So, You can play music while taking someone out. Isn't it great?
It is.
Beskar could also be employed in the creation of lightsaber hilts in order to make them capable of resistant blows from an opposing blade, and Mandalorian iron crafted into handheld shields that could be used defense and offense alike, allowing the wielder to strike their opponent to cut them with edges that would have been honed to a razor sharpness. So think Captain America's shield, essentially.
Right.
But extra sharp. And then ancient Mandalorian manacles were used, made of Beskar. The tough Mandalorian iron allowed to complete with the advent of newer binder technology, such as force shackles and laser cuffs, for centuries. Many buildings in the new Mandalorian capital city of Sundari utilized Beskar in their construction, and Mandalorian iron was used in the creation of the city's prison cells, just as had been used in powerful Beskar cages. Beskar was often used in the construction of Mandalorian starships, including the likes of the Beskar-class starfighter, which featured an outer armor shell of micronized Mandalorian iron. Yeah. Things get very interesting.
Yes, they do.
Oh, I can't do anything there. So, now, with the history of Beskar. So, we do have an early history in Legends. So, the ancient Tong progenitors of the Mandalorian culture were said to have been drawn to what became Mandalorian space by the lure of indestructible Beskar ore, and discovered Beskar sometime after their conquest of the planet Mandalore around 7000 BBY. The acquisition and use of the Mandalorian iron was a contributing factor of the early expansion of the Mandalorian sector. Mandalorian metalsmiths developed techniques and different methods of working the iron, which they came to guard closely from outsiders and passed down from one generation to the next. However, its incredible strength attracted the attention of many non-Mandalorians, and Beskar quickly earned a reputation as one of the strongest metals known to science and one of the most desirable elements in the galaxy. Armies throughout the galaxy sought to obtain supplies of Mandalorian iron and became one of the most valuable metals on the galactic market. Attempts to purchase the knowledge of Beskar ironworking from Mandalorian metalsmiths, though, the years had all failed, and all endeavors to replicate finished Beskar without the aid of Mandalorian craftsmen had been met with similarly poor results. Which, is pretty standard when it comes to that. So Mandalorians furnished starships and constructed weapons with Beskar, while the Jedi Master Arca-Jeth utilized a heavy slab of Mandalorian iron to seal the tomb of the deceased Sith Lord Freda Nad on Dux. The Beskar door provided the impediment of the Dark Jedi Exar Kun, who had shocked to find that his lightsaber was rebuffed with Mandalorian iron, and only gained access to the blocked tomb with repeated strikes of his saber at its highest power outlet. Yeah. Beskar's tough. Don't try to destroy it. And then, by the time of the Cold War between the Galactic Republic and the Sith Empire, Mandalorians had come to view Beskar as the ideal material for crafting Mandalorian armor, and recognized the substantial benefits it provided when battling lightsaber-armed force wielders, a viewpoint that lasted for generations. The Sith Darth Revan also made use of Mandalorian iron in his Sith fortress. Is that Revan or Revan? Oh, Riven. Sorry. Darth Riven also made his use of Mandalorian iron in his Sith fortress on Almus. The door to his ritual chamber and the floor of his lightsaber practice room were crafted from Beskar, as the chest Riven used to hold in his most valuable Sith tomes. Another Sith, Lord Udian, one of the Gurmira sector, had a throne of Mandalorian iron installed aboard the bridge of his flagship, the Sword of Letus. while some Sith warriors elected to wear heavy Beskar armor as part of their apparel.
Yeah. So Darth Riven is he has his name because he reads a Sith manuscript that had Darth Revan's name misspelled.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
So he's Darth Revan, Rivan, instead of Revan.
Oh my god, that is hysterical. He says Darth Revan was a Zelian? Zelian?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's funny. He took the Sith name from a corrupted Sith manuscript, which incorrectly identified Darth Revan. That's hilarious. Oh, that's funny. But at this time, I think it'd be a good time to take a mid-break.
All right, well, let's get on to it.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
All right, welcome to the middle of the show, where we take time to thank our patrons. Thank you to all of our patrons who are here to support us in all the ways that they do. Thank you so much. Our next patron chat will be coming up in a couple of weeks. So if you want to join us on there, you can sign up at patreon.com/holocronhistories. Another great way to support us is to leave us ratings and reviews on Apple or Spotify. If you leave us a kind comment or review with 5 stars, we will read out your review or comment on a future episode of the show. And so, do we have anything to read today, Ben?
We do. We have a 5-star review from Apple from Brashius of Kashyyyk from the United States. This is my favorite podcast, and I really enjoy listening to it. It's an awesome show that is very nice to learn about the lore of Star Wars. I know probably 100 times more than I did before listening to it. Also, I really like to hear an episode about Mara Jade or Kyle Katarn. Thank you, Ben of Tamaria and Austin Teacup.
That's
and
me.
Then I do actually have some Spotify comments as well. So I have this is from a while ago that I'm just now getting to it because Spotify's been weird. I'm sorry, Scarecrow, that you waited 9 months to hear this. You want a review, Ben? So here you go. Holocron is a great Star Wars lore cast, and I saved me from much mundane, save me from the mundane life of work. Keep up the good work, Ben and Teacup. May the fork be with you. Yeah, Spotify's been really weird for me. Like, it doesn't show me all, like, it shows me, like, when a new comment has been added, it's like, here's the one in the last week. Anything that's been added before, it doesn't, like, show me. It's weird. And then also, we have one from our part 2 of Avar Chris from our good friend Zach on Spotify. Could you do an episode on what everyday life will look like for a normal citizen in the Star Wars galaxy? This topic has always intrigued me, and hopefully will intrigue you too.
Sure.
It is very intriguing. I will say that. I'm curious how... I mean, I can try to see what I can do there. So, we'll see. But yeah, that's what I got.
All right. Well, last thing you can do for us is to leave or to join us on Discord. Come and hang out with us as we approach the release of Star Wars Outlaws in like a month.
Yeah, I was like, release of what? What's coming out? Oh yeah, Outlaws. That comes out next month on August 30th. So for everybody wanting to play that game, it's August 30th. If you get the Gold Edition or the Digital Deluxe stuff, it is 3 days early access. So that is on the 27th.
Yes. If 3 days early access is worth an extra $40.
I can't say anything because I did buy the gold
No.
edition.
Look, it is like a real thing because so this is completely and utterly un-Star Wars related.
That's
So
fair.
this might shock. Apparently, this is shocking news, but I loved the old NCAA college football games.
Yes.
And so College Football 25 is releasing this week.
Yes. But if you have the digital Lux, it's
And
out now.
yes, I know, but I don't have the digital Lux because I refuse. I remember when Madden games were like 2 weeks after release, they were like $5 at GameStop because they were one of the fastest dropping value games in.
And they still are.
Yeah. And so I cannot justify spending over $80 on a football game,
That's fair.
but I want it. So I did buy the basic. I apparently did pre-order the basic edition because the money came out of my account this week, and I was like, "What did I buy on Xbox?" It was this game, and so. But I am very much waiting and not enjoying the fact that I did not get 3-day early access.
Technically 4
But
day because it went up 3 p.m. Central Time yesterday.
Yes.
So which
I have been able,
which threw me off for working as and I kept getting bombarded with phone calls about that stuff. People don't call your local GameStop about college football because we don't have it.
Yeah, it's digital
Friday.
only.
Yeah, people don't listen.
Like I'll get the game. I'll get the game Thursday at like 11. Is when the full thing.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm rocking my 10 hours of free trial.
Oh, okay. There you go. That's all you need.
But yes, so if you want that access, if that's something that's going to be something you want, then do that. I can't remember, Ben, did they say this was day one access with Game Pass?
Star Wars Outlaws?
When they released it? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, it's not
Game
Pass.
It's day one access with Ubisoft Plus.
It's with Ubisoft Plus. It's through their own stupid subscription thing that I don't care for. So for anybody listening, I did the gold. I always do like a gold edition or collector's edition as much as I can, depending on the game, what game it is. For me, it's good to have 3 days early access because I have another game that comes out 2 days later that I will be playing probably more than Star Wars.
2 days later.
Gundam Breaker 4. I get a new Gundam game. Mobile Suit Gundam. Gundam Breaker 4 is finally coming out. And we haven't had we had a Gundam Breaker game that came out in 2015 that literally sucked and no one liked it, even in Japan. And everybody went back to the previous one that came out, not even kidding, 2013 or 2012. So we haven't had a good Gundam game since then. And we
anyway, if you want back to the matter at hand.
Back to Star
that
Wars.
I started this thing. Back to Star Wars. If you want to come and talk about Star Wars Outlaws with us, we do have spoiler channels. So if you want to come and like say, "Hey, look at this awesome thing," please do it in the spoiler channels, especially for us who have so many games coming out in the fall, right, who will have to balance how we play the
are
games.
On our Discord channels. On the Cups Podcast More in Discord and the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord. There's a Robots Radio Discord, but like we don't have spoiler channels on there because that's Tom's.
Yeah, if you come and spoil games in there, I probably will not see it because I check that
Discourse that we have to regularly be in.
But I kind of guess where I can already guess where Outlaws is going. I really hope it's like GTA Saints Row version of Star Wars because I really just want to run over stormtroopers with a speeder.
That would be fantastic, and I have a strong feeling we probably will be able to.
Right. Like, I'm still upset that I couldn't really like tackle droids and stormtroopers with the mounts in Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it sucked. Yeah, that's a
But
good point.
it's made by Ubisoft, so we should be able to do whatever we want.
Exactly. That's true. That's very
It's still
true.
rated T, though.
It is, yeah, still rated T.
T for team. T for... I tried to think of
Total
something that was
destruction?
like... that T's that are no longer T's. Teens, T for teens that are no longer teens.
Yes.
Teens, T for teens whose number begins with 3.
All right. Yeah.
Age begins with
Age.
begins with
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. Yo. Yes. Yes. I know. Yeah. It's me now. Anyway, let's
get back to Star Wars.
Yeah. Let's get back into more Beskar. All right, we're back from our mid break, and now we are still going into the history of the Beskar. So, as the time went on, Mandalorian iron became a prominent export from the planet Mandalore, fulfilling an economic niche in the Mandalorians on the galactic market. Following the Mandalorian exorcism of 738 BBY that birthed the peaceful New Mandalorian faction, the pacifist sect made substantial use of Mandalorian iron in the construction of their capital city of Sundari, located in one of the white sanded deserts of Mandalore. And you might know this city because we do see it in Clone Wars. That is Sundari, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I remember. I hear all the Clone Wars stuff in the announcer's voice.
Oh, right.
So everything.
Yeah. Many of the city's grand buildings and towers feature Beskar in their agriculture makeup, and durable Mandalorian iron was used in the creation of the cells of the city prisons. Some of the Beskar utilized the new Mandalorian came from breaking down suits of traditional Mandalorian armor the pacifist sect had relinquished upon embracing peace, repurposing the material toward the non-martial ends. Well, that's sad. I would love to use that old armor. That armor was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Before the Mandalorians ceased waging large-scale warfare, they turned to Mandalore's moon, Concordia, seeking to uncover new deposits of Beskar ore. Once an agricultural settlement, Concordia was transformed into a mining base. The Mandalorian prospectors who secured the moon for Beskar, ugly mines came to scar the surface in Concordia, and the mining operation was so extensive that the forests in the Mandalorian's moon were nearly destroyed in the effort. The mining operations on Concordia eventually slowed to the point where they believed by the new Mandalorian government have ceased altogether. Yeah, and Concordia had a lot of cool forests, because we do visit Concordia. Wait, I can't remember. Do we visit Concordia?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought in KOTOR 2, right? Is that Concordia?
No, Duxon.
No, that's Duxon. Okay, that's
which is on Onderon. So
that's right.
Onderon, O-N-D-eron, not Alderaan.
Yeah. Onderon. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Where
Concordia, we see Concordia. Okay, hold on, because it gets me all the things, because there's the Ben Rao and him, I think, are on like Concord Dawn or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then Concordia is the moon that they go to where we first ever meet Pre Vizsla.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I think now. Star Wars fandom, I could be wrong. Don't come for me.
Yeah, please don't.
I mean, you can come for me. I can take it, but seriously, I mean, y'all got upset about Kool-Aid Jedi, so I mean, come on.
Oh gosh, moving on. However, the forces of the Death Watch, a violent and radical Mandalorian splinter cell that oppose both the modern honorable ways of the warrior clans and the pacifism of the new Mandalorians, continue to maintain mining operations on Mandalore and Concordia in secret, acquiring Beskar for weapons and armor. The Death Watch's founder and leader, Tor Vizsla, touched upon the mining efforts in Beskar in general in a manifesto he wrote entitled Benjun Christad Mendoad. Yeah, it's like... It's Mandalorian language mixed with Latin. That's very interesting. Yeah. So, the Mandalorian police units continue to make use of the ancient Beskar forged Mandalorian manacles during this time, keeping them as part of the standard equipment, as well as the blaster-proof Beskar shields. The personal star yacht of the new Mandalorian leader, Duchess Satine Kryze, was furnished with Beskar flatware used by passengers for dining. Yeah, which is interesting. By the start of the galaxy-spanning Clone Wars, the efforts of the wide-scale Beskar mining operation on Concordia began to fade, and the moon's forest had began to flourish again. At this time, the Mandalorian soldier Wallon View possessed black Beskar forged Mandalorian armor in addition to a traditional Mandalorian Beskar saber. Wade Tyhal, Var's mercenary, contemporary, and fellow Mandalorian member of the Kruvaldar, an elite group of the training insurgents handpicked to instruct the clone commandos of the Grand Army of the Republic, owned a bladed Mandalorian Beskar flute cast from Mandalorian iron, painted the same violet color of his iron armor. Tahali's good friend and another member of the Kruvaldar by the name of Kal Shrikata war armor was a Mandalorian iron alloy containing 2% critidium. Oh, that's interesting. Which critidium is also another like metal substance in the galaxy. Shrikata's armor lacked carbon in its composition, traditionally used to form a molecular cage structure that made Beskar lighter, resulting in a significant weight increase. Around the time Philas Mantellalis wrote at length of the attributes and advantages of Mandalorian iron in his work Strategic Resources of the Galaxy. After the Galactic Republic was transformed into the Galactic Empire, Imperials began broken negotiations with the clan chieftains of Mandalore in order to establish a garrison base on the planet to acquire the rights to mine the Mandalorian iron. An offer of 800 million credits was issued for an exclusive Beskar mining rights in the verdant Tok'rush region of the Mandalore, and the Mandal Mortar Company was solicited to refurb the old prison ships and construct new ones with Mandalorian iron enhancements. In addition, requests were made to acquire specialist Beskar equipment, including manacles, holding cages, and security doors. However, as time passed, relations between the Empire and the Mandalore changed from cordial to hostile. Mandalore was taken over by the Imperials and the people enslaved. The Empire strip-mined Mandalore's shallow veins of Beskar ore, shipping a significant amount off-world before Finn Shisha and the Mandalorian protectors were able to liberate Mandalore from the Empire. Around the same time, the Sith Lady Lumia used Mandalorian iron to construct portions of her light whip. And here we have a light whip, just like now we have in the Acolyte. Well, it was in the book first.
We only saw it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, we did. I'm hoping we see more. We're recording this on Tuesday, which is in the next 20 minutes, the new episode drops. So hopefully we get a little bit more.
I thought it dropped on Wednesdays.
9 p.m. Tuesdays, Eastern time. So whatever it'd be for your time. 8 p.m. your time. So in 24 ABY, at the 412th Proceedings of the Galactic Anthropology and History at the Brental Academy on Brental 4, historian Vinaru Tep gave a keynote speech entitled Industry, Honor, Savagery, Shaping the Mandalorian Soul. During the speech, he discussed the place of Beskar in the vast history and culture of the Mandalorian people. And then, decades later, the Mandalorian soldier Goran Belev came to possess the antique Beskar, forged in Mandalorian iron, as well as a pair of micronized Beskar-laden crush gaunts, when the extragalactic race of invaders known as the Yuuzhan Vong launch an attack on the known galaxy with the intent to conquer it. Belvin battled the aliens with both the iron-made weapons after the end of the galactic invasion of the Yuuzhan Vong and the devastating attack on Mandalore. The new source of Mandalorian iron was discovered in 40 ABY. And if you don't know who the Yuuzhan Vong are, they are a terrible, terrible race of aliens, of organic aliens that literally almost wiped out the entire galaxy.
Yeah.
It's one of the darkest moments in Star Wars.
It was fun, Ben. It was fun.
It was fun, where like almost all the main characters are dead. Hooray!
Not all. I mean, Luke, Leia, Han all survive.
Chewie
Lando's still alive. Just Chewie.
I don't think Chewie's the only one that I care for. The other
the mains.
Hey,
Ben,
Chewie's over 1,000 years old. He can survive anything.
But
all the others are human. It's fine. They're going to pass away eventually. Chewie though, it's a Wookiee. You have to protect the Wookiees.
Do you?
Yes. Unless they get possessed, and that's not a good thing. Go watch the new episode 7 of The Acolyte. You will see a possessed Jedi Wookiee is not a good thing to go against. Not at all.
Also, how long did it take you to realize that Jedi Torben was Tommen Baratheon?
Was who?
Tommen Baratheon from Game of Thrones. Same actor.
So I'm gonna be honest. I have yet to watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, Ben. Really?
I know.
You know.
I know. Yeah, I know.
You're not really missing anything. I mean, you are, but like, who cares?
Yeah, that's what everybody tells me. So heeding the orders of the reigning Mandalore Boba Fett, 2 Mandalorians, one a geologist and the other a mineral engineer, were returning to Mandalore when they decided to take upon orbital scans of the surface damage that had been incurred by the Yuuzhan Vong. Upon comparing the results to the previous geographic data, the two elected to investigate further upon planetary approach, only to find an undiscovered lode of Beskar a few kilometers north of the small town of Insiri. The iron had been deeper than the Imperials thought to mine during the occupation, exposed by chance by a Yuuzhan Vong singularity bomb. If you don't know what a singularity is, it's a black hole.
Oh. Well, that'll do it.
Yeah, a singularity is a black hole, and so here's a black hole bomb, because why not? Foreman Herrick Vorad was placed in charge of the overseeing the mining of the new Beskar lode. One was found in the land that didn't belong to any one individual. Mandalore Fett declared that the iron was a resource to all of Mandalore. He was also settled on the compromise that allocated a portion of the Mandalorian iron to be manufactured into goods for foreign export, while another portion would be kept for Mandalorians' domestic needs, including defense armament. And we'll say, Boba Fett in Legends, when he was Mandalore, he made really good decisions as a leader.
He did. He really did.
The new load in the Mandalorian iron led to an economically prosperous era for Mandalore, and the creation of the new starships such as the Beskar class starfighter, led by Mandal Motors, whose CEO, Yomek, elected to provide that the Beskar line was micronized Beskar armor instead of the Beskar laminate, and the Troked, which employed heavy Mandalorian iron armor plating. In 41 ABY, Corbin Velvin and the Jedi Knight Jania Solo used Beskar training armor and Beskar sabers during sparring sessions, while Belvin attempted to teach Solo Mandalorian fighting techniques in order to better combat her Sith Lord brother, Darth Caedus. Yeah. And around the same time, Belvin's husband, Moret Verser, forged a set of Beskar Mandalorian armor for Boba Fett to replace his old compromise of Duracell plates. Fett put his new plates to good use soon after during the Second Battle of Hondor, where his Mandalorian iron armor blocked incoming blaster fire while he and a dozen Mandalorian super commandos assaulted the Star Destroyer Bloodfin. When the battle was over and the Bloodfin had been captured by the Mandalorians, Fett met with Imperial Admiral Nasisi Data, who revealed that she knew...
Natasi
Dala. Yeah, thank you. Who revealed that she knew much... where much of the Mandalorian iron the Empire had stolen from the Mandalore was located, and suggested the possibility of having it returned to the Mandalorians. Upon completing her training under Belvid, Jenia Solo was furnished with Beskar armor plates, which she used during her decisive clash against with Darth Kratos aboard the Anakin Solo. Solo also learned from her uncle, Jedi Grandmaster Luke Skywalker, how to perceive the faint flaws left in Beskar during the forging process to use the Force to shatter the otherwise impervious Mandalorian armor by exploiting these imperfections. Which is also cool, by the way. And last but not least, we have some behind the scenes. So, though Mandalorian manacles had first appeared in Tales of the Jedi 5, it was only later that the Feed on Nod uprising arc of the Tales of the Jedi comic series that the Mandalorian iron was truly introduced in Star Wars canon. The same story was also responsible for introducing Mandalorian Iron's lightsaber-resistant capabilities with the release of the Republic Commando novel series and their Star Wars Insider article, The Mandalorians, People and Cultured, each authored by Karen Travis. Mandalorian Iron was given the additional Mando's name of Beskar, which has been used increasingly in more recent sources. And the Tales of the Jedi, this is the comic series, not Tales of the Jedi series that we have on Disney Plus. Completely two different things. Mm-hmm. And the People and Culture article, in addition to the previous Insider article, The History of the Mandalorians by Abel G. Fina, provided the details on the use, composition, and cultural significance of Mandalorian iron. In 2013, the reference guide, The Bounty Hunter Code from the Files of Boba Fett, co-written by Jason Fry, Daniel Wallace, and Ryder Wyndham, featured a section and several informational references pertaining to Mandalorian iron. So, yeah. A lot of things on Beskar. Beskar's awesome. We see a lot in The Mandalorian. We see it in the Clone Wars. We see it in Rebels. Yeah. We see it everywhere. We see it a lot. Now, Cortosis. That
we only see
cool.
it.
We only see it in
Legend.
We have it. We have a fair amount in Legends. Canon, obviously, it's just Acolyte right now because that's the first thing in canon that they brought it back. But the fight scene where you see Cortosis used and headbutting lightsabers to short them out, that was awesome.
Right. And like they're in Legends, like especially like if you ever remember the Jedi Outcast game.
Yes.
You fight droids that either have Cortosis blades or like Cortosis armor. And it is not fun.
No, it's not. Now, funny enough, I remember even playing KOTOR 1 and 2, they didn't really use Beskars in the game, but it's not like it just increased your armor rating. That's really it. If I remember, it didn't really had any gameplay mechanic. Yeah.
Beskar. So hold on.
Oh, do we have?
I have a bunch of combat or KOTOR stuff pulled out because I've been modding KOTOR in the last couple days.
Of course.
So I can't pull up the Mandalorian armor. Yeah, I can't pull up the Mandalorian armor. I can't remember if in the text it talks about it having Beskar, but there are a bunch of armor upgrades, but none of them are listed under Beskar.
Okay. Maybe it's just they talked about it. and that was it. Because I know, what's his name? Well, Mandalore
Canderous?
and Canderous, thank you. He talks about Beskar in both 1 and 2.
Maybe, yeah. And the Bastila war droids, and yeah, there's something else, but I can't remember.
Right. Yeah. Ugh. And it's also mentioned in SWTOR, but SWTOR being an MMO, it doesn't like really. It's just an armor style. That's it. Or there's like story elements with like when you see a cutscene, like a blaster bolt gets deflected or something like that. That's really about it in SWTOR.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I haven't played. So for everybody listening, I got a new PC. It's an actual gaming desktop, so I can do a lot more than a laptop. I have yet to play a PC game on it yet, and I might download SWTOR again on my, because I haven't downloaded any games on my PC. I have Steam on here, and I just haven't downloaded anything else.
Right.
I want to look how pretty
you
it
should
looks.
look in. They're looking at SWTOR. If you ever want to get into modding, I have a giant 100 list mod thing for both for KOTORs each. Yeah.
Oh God.
That I can send you.
Oh God. Oh no.
With very detailed install instructions and.
Interesting. All right.
I mean, it's not as easy as Skyrim modding. Even on PC, Skyrim modding is pretty simple because if you have a mod manager, you just
put in the manager,
click and go. So it's not that easy, but it is pretty simple.
Interesting. All right. But yeah, that's what I have on Beskar this week.
Well, thanks. Thanks for bringing this of everyone's favorite lightsaber resistant metal. Yes, Beskar, you beat Cortosis for me. But with that, thank you, Ben, for bringing the research. Thank you all for listening to the Holocron Histories podcast, and we'll see you next time.
And may the Force be with you. Thank you for listening to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon versus Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, and even at the Cups Podcast and More Discord. You can find us on Twitter at SWHoloHistories, and even email us at holocronhistories@gmail.com.